This is a great song. What's up, guys? GeorgeTheCloud here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to my life. Vincent, Starry, Starry Night, Don McLean, acoustic cover by Linge. Big shout out to Brad. Thank you so much for the coffee and the support as always. So a long time ago, I reacted to the original song and I re-uploaded it on my classics channel, GeorgeTheCloud Classics, where we go back to the different decades for the best music. And so you can find it there. But it was a long time ago I reacted to it, and I just re-listened to that song before starting the video here so I can have it fresh in my mind. And yeah, but I will talk more about it once we get through it, but we have more information here. Vincent was written by Don McLean as a tribute to Vincent van Gogh. It is often titled after its opening refrain, Starry, Starry Night, a reference to Van Gogh's 1889 painting, The Starry Night. McLean wrote the lyrics in 1971 after reading a book about the life of Van Gogh. It was released on McLean's 1971 American Pie album. I have to go back and react to more from Don McLean because from what I've heard, he was an incredible songwriter, musician in general, and I only know like 2 songs from him. So if you have any suggestions, please go to my Ko-fi page or Patreon. It really helps out a lot. Okay, let's get into it. This is from 3 years ago? 4 years ago now. Okay, grab some popcorn, fill up your water, put your headphones on, and let's go.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills. Sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you try to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflecting Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue, morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you try to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left in sight on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met. The ragged men in ragged clothes, the silver thorn of bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you try to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you try to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. perhaps they never will.
That what what am I doing here? What can I even comment on this? Uh it's perfection of songwriting. You could not write a better song about Vincent van Gogh. It is absolute peak, as the kids say. First things first, we hit the like. I am subscribed and I'll have a link of the original video down in the description below. Man, Emily's voice just really kind of brings it to life. And I actually sense some similarities between like her tone and Dawn, right? Different people, of course, and registers, but same energy. Like they really deliver it in a pretty equal way. I've reacted to Emily many times, and a lot of those times she kind of makes the song different depending on the genre, right? It's just like it's a complete different version. But this one, I feel like it still has that softness to it. It's like he's telling the story, also almost like you know, he feels terrible about Vincent, and it really affected him, right? When he wrote the song, and it's like we're all trying to give Vincent van Gogh a hug and saying, "It's okay, we are here for you," you know. And so this song, it feels like a warm embrace. It's just very delicate, very poetic, and really fantastic in the imagery, the description, how he's saying, the swirling clouds, and he then describes Starry Night, the famous painting, of course. And by the way, Vincent van Gogh, one of the most iconic painters of all time. I'm going to say top 10, right? Super well known and a very cool style. And so he gets immortalized in this song by Don McLean, which in his own right, he's one of the best songwriters of his time period. So it's really like it's powerful to see the chain of events, right? This man, lived his life 130 years ago, 50 years ago, and he left his mark on earth. He did what he did, and then like 100 years later, then you get a song about him, and it also becomes a hit. And then 50 years after that, you get a cover of a song that's just as great, and it continues. If originally you're dealing with something that has greatness, then I think it's only worthy to continue on that note, right? If the foundation is already there, then you're kind of good to go and continue to to cover it. And we use the word cover a lot, but in a way it's a way of preserving the music, of keeping it alive, of showing it to the new generations, and for it to continue and not just get stuck in a decade or a generation. And I think that this is what Emily is doing with all these songs, right? So it should not be underestimated, the fact that people are doing covers, right? Because there's people are always going to hate. There's always going to be that, why are you do something original? Why are you just doing covers? And they're not really understanding the effect of what that person is doing. So it's a very sad story. Earlier I was reading about Vincent, and it talks about his death, because I had forgotten that he committed suicide. And so it says here, The widely accepted account by historians, his family, and the Van Gogh Museum is that Van Gogh intentionally shot himself in a wheat field on July 27, 1890. He survived the initial shot, but the bullet lodged near his spine and the wound became fatally infected. He managed to stagger back to his room, where he died 30 hours later. His beloved younger brother, Theo Van Gogh, rushed to his side and was with him when he passed away. His reported last words to Theo were, "The sadness will last forever. And this is how I wanted to go." Tragic. Devastating. Oh my God. It's just incredibly sad to think about what he was going through. And, you know, he had his difficulties with life, with, you know, being social, with love, with romanticism, and that ultimately, you know, probably led to his death. He created about 2,100 artworks, including around 860 oil paintings, most of them in the last 2 years of his life. So very productive ending to his life. And it's even more painful to think about how he never knew the impact that he had on the culture, on the world, and not just, you know, in the art community, but like the world in general, because everybody knows Starry Night and Vincent van Gogh, and he died thinking, you know, he was, you know, not worth a lot. So, man, this is such a sad story, but a wonderful song, and just the way that he creates. Why are people not writing like this anymore? I ask like as if it were an easy thing, and the answer is also right there. It doesn't happen now, and it doesn't happen as often because it's, you know, it takes a big talent to create music like this. It's not like anybody could do it. So maybe that's why we know there's only one Don McLean, and I don't know. I guess we're just waiting on somebody else to pop up in this generation and bring us songwriting the way these people used to make it. So, all right, thank you, Emily, for, you know, for reminding us of this song, and it's so special with her voice, and to think that she was, you know, like 14 years old at the time. How has Emily not been picked up by a major recording company? Obviously, they're not looking for pure talent. She has everything. Thanks, Emily, for choosing this beautiful Don McLean song. It's a song that goes straight to the heart. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and at the end, do a flip. Till the next.